Femi Oluwadurotimi Popola. I am the author of a book called I Am Existence, which also happens to be the name of this podcast. So this is the I Am Existence podcast. In this episode, we will be speaking from chapter 2, and the title of this chapter is What is Evil? To many people who consider evil, people just think evil is something that is bad. And if you're more from a religious perspective, you consider evil to be something that displeases God, or evil is something terrible happening, or something that makes God unhappy. And all of these, in my understanding, according to the book, don't capture the entirety of what evil is. Because evil extends beyond what one person considers bad, or even what God considers as bad. So I'm going to clean that up. Just hear me out. So the Bible says that God created on the first day. He said, "Let there be light," and he looked at it and he said it was good. And the second day and the third day, and everything was good like that all the way to the sixth day. One thing that he noticed on the sixth day, he said it is not good for man to be alone, and then he made the woman. And then the Bible says in chapter 2 that God looked at everything, and behold, everything was very good. Good means that it fits into his plan, or what he envisioned for what he was creating. God, from before God even began to say, "Let there be light," and "Let there be this," and "Let there be that," he had already planned that he was going to make man the centerpiece of his creation on earth, and man was going to be a land-based creation. If there was no man in God's vision, there will have not been any need for him to have said, "Let the dry land appear." If man was not a creature of light who has to operate, because just a few hundred years ago, once the sun goes down, everybody goes to bed. When the war between Nikola Tesla and what's his name now, Thomas Edison, came about with electricity and lighting and all of that stuff, it was that enabled men and women to begin to carry on activities beyond dusk. Men by nature have to operate in light. If God did not envision man and intend for man to operate in light, there was no need for him to say, "Let there be light." There was no need for him to say, "Let the sun rule over the day and be light in the sky." There are creatures that operate in darkness easily and very, very comfortably. Owls operate in darkness. Bats are blind. They don't even need light to do what it is that they do. And there are many creatures that navigate their way around using sound. They don't need light. So God had a vision of what he intended for the earth. He had a vision of man. He had an idea of what he intended man to be like, and man was going to function in an environment of light. So when God was saying good, 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 it was good because it met his plan, it met his design, it met his standard. Now, when God told Adam and Eve, or he told Adam not to eat from the fruit of the tree in the garden, it wasn't because the tree itself was poisonous. It was because the eating from that tree, whether because of the fruit of the tree itself or because of the act of disobedience, was going to open up existence to a new reality that God never intended. Whenever something encounters a situation it is not intended to encounter, that state or that experience is called evil. Let me give you an example. In the Old Testament, God told the children of Israel that when they go out to war, they are to bring in the spoil and all the different things, and whatever it is that they bring in needs to be purified. Then there were two instruments or elements that are used for purification. The first is water and the second is fire. Now God said that everything has to pass through water. The clothes, the gold, the silver, the pots, the pans, the women, the slaves that they bring in, all of these things need to be purified with water. So there's a water purification ceremony that everything has to go through. And then anything that can endure the fire should also be purified with fire. So all the pots, the pottery, the iron, the gold, the silver, and the different things that they're bringing in has to go in through fire. Why? Because those elements are comfortable in a fire environment. If you were to take cloth and say you want to purify it with fire, what you're going to have is evil, because the cloth is not created to experience fire. If you take wood, a wooden table, and you say, oh, I'm supposed to purify this table, and then you pass it through the fire, that wooden table would burn up. It would be destroyed. And that situation is considered evil.